I keep asking myself one question. How is this possible? How can one company be the center of so many horror stories? Are people exaggerating, or is there something fundamentally broken?
So we started digging, and what we found was a pattern, a very clear, very deliberate pattern confirmed by the government.
Hey, everyone, I'm John.
And I am Rhonda, and you have found our new front porch, the place for the real story on RVing.
And this is Jazzy, our director of due diligence. She spent weeks helping us pore over legal documents. All right, let's get right into it. You can't be in the RV world for more than 5 minutes without hearing the noise surrounding Camping World. The angry videos, the forum posts, it's a storm. And honestly, it's confusing.
It makes you wonder, is it really that bad, or is this just a few loud, unhappy people? We wanted to know the real answer based on the facts, not just the feelings.
So we went down the rabbit hole. We're not talking about a personal opinion on one bad experience. We decided to look for documented proof. We're talking consumer protection investigations, federal lawsuits, and thousands of public complaints. And our promise in this video is simple. We're going to lay out the evidence we found, the patterns, the proof, and the official settlements. Then, most importantly, we're going to give you a powerful step-by-step playbook to make sure none of this can ever happen to you.
And you will definitely want to stick around because later we're going to show you the actual RV lemon laws from 2 different states. The loopholes we found are shocking, and you could leave completely unprotected.
Okay, to understand what's going on, you have to see the patterns. The complaints we've read weren't random. They were incredibly consistent. It's almost always starts with the sales process.
This is where the dream begins. You are excited. You have found the perfect rig. You can already picture yourself at the Grand Canyon. And according to the complaints, this is where the trouble can start. The number one issue is what people felt were deceptive pricing tactics.
Exactly. The story is nearly identical every time. You see a price online, you go in and you agree on a number. And then you get into the finance office. You're exhausted. Your guard is down and they slide the final contract in front of you that has thousands of dollars in fees you never discussed.
Now, every dealer has these costs. The complaint is that they are tacked on the very end, the top of the price you just negotiated. It is a bait and switch that happens when you are hours into the process.
It puts you in a horrible position. You're emotionally invested. You either pay thousands more than you planned, or you walk away feeling like you just wasted your entire day.
It sounds less like buying an RV and more like a hostage negotiation.
And it doesn't stop there. The second part of this intense pressure is to use their financing and to buy their expensive add-on, extended warranties, tire protection, all of it.
And the pitch is often, we can get you a better interest rate if you add these protections, which feels coercive. It is to force you to buy things you may not want just to get the loan.
The feeling people describe is the whole process is designed to confuse and overwhelm you, especially if you're the first timer. You just don't know what's normal. So that's the story. But is there proof? We'll show you the smoking gun in a bit.
The second major theme is what happens after the sale. If you thought the fight was over for many people, It was just beginning.
The biggest complaint we found by a mile is the mind blowing repair delays. We're not talking about a few weeks. We found hundreds and hundreds of stories of RVs being held hostage in service departments for 6 months, 9 months, and even some for over a year.
And all the while your RV is sitting on their lot, you are still making that monthly payment. You are losing your entire camping season. The dream of freedom is just stuck behind a chain link fence.
To make it worse, people report a total communication blackout. Calls and emails go unanswered for weeks. Service advisors are never available. No updates, no timeline, nothing. The feeling of being completely ignored and helpless is a constant theme.
And if you finally get it back, we read so many stories of shoddy work or even new problems being created. One person on the forum said that the RV came back with a huge scratch on the side, and the dealer just said, "Sorry, not our problem."
It's maddening. So you have these two giant pillar complaints, a sales process that feels deceptive and a service department that feels broken. There are the rumors. This is where things get serious. This is where we went from reading angry forum posts to reading official legal documents. And honestly, Rhonda, when I found this, my jaw hit the floor. In December of 2024, the Attorney General for the state of Oregon announced a $3.5 million settlement with Camping World.
This was not a lawsuit from one unhappy RVer. This was a state government that launched a multi-year investigation because they were drowning in complaints from its citizens.
And here is the key finding. This is a direct quote from the Attorney General's office. Our investigation found that Camping World clawed back its purported discounts by double charging consumers for freight and prep charges that had already been included in the advertised price.
Let that sink in. The exact practice people have been screaming about online for years was investigated and confirmed by a state government as being an unlawful trade practice.
This is the smoking gun. It's not he said, she said anymore. This is a state proving it happened. It validates the stories of thousands of people and proves that the complaints were absolutely factual and true. But why would this happen? We kept asking that, and we found another piece of the puzzle. A major security fraud class action lawsuit filed against Camping World by its own investors.
This gets a little complicated, but stick with us because it is critical. Basically, the lawsuit claimed that the company's executive were making false and misleading statements to the public to inflate the stock price.
Well, they were allegedly pumping up the stocks. The lawsuit claimed that top insiders were engaged in a massive insider selling scheme, selling off more than $500,000 of their own personal stock at those inflated prices.
The company ended up settling that lawsuit for $12.5 million. And of course, they denied any wrongdoing. That's standard. But the allegations paint a picture of a corporate culture under intense pressure from Wall Street to grow no matter what.
And you have to ask, where does that pressure land? It rolls downhill and it lands right on the showroom floor and in the service bays. It creates this perfect environment for the exact behaviors people complain about: high pressure sales and prioritizing a quick buck over the customer.
So when you put all the pieces together, the thousands of complaints, the government settlements, the investors' lawsuits, this doesn't look like a few bad apples.
It looks like the predictable outcome of a business model that, according to evidence, puts profit ahead of people. Okay, that was heavy. Let's take a very deep breath. We did not do all this research to scare you away from RVing. Knowledge is power, and this is the playbook we would use to protect our family.
Think of this as your non negotiable checklist. This is your shield.
Step one, secure independent financing first. Before you ever look at an RV, go to your bank or credit union and get a pre approved loan. This is the single most powerful thing you could do. It removes their biggest leverage point. You are now a cash buyer.
Step two, demand the out the door price. From the very first conversation, refuse to talk about monthly payments. Your only line is, I have my own financing. I only negotiate the final out the door price. Get that number on an itemized purchase agreement before you do anything else.
Step three, scrutinize every single fee. Look at the itemized list like a hawk. Question every line item. If you see a huge charge for freight or prep on top of the RV price, you challenge them. You politely tell them a reputable dealer builds those costs into the MSRP. Ask them to remove it or you'll walk.
Step four, be prepared to walk away. This is your superpower. My favorite step. If you feel pressure, if the math seems funny, if they will not give you a clear price in writing, just stand up, say thank you for your time, and leave. Your feet are the greatest negotiating tool. Your phone will probably ring before you get back to your car.
Step five, and this is critical, hire an independent RV inspector. Never, ever, ever trust the dealer's inspection. For a few $100s, you hire a certified professional from the NRVIA, the National RV Inspectors Association. They will work with you. They find things you'll never dream of looking for. It is the best insurance policy you can buy.
And the final step, 6, refuse delivery until your unit is perfect. You give the dealer that inspector's report. You do not sign the final papers, and you do not hand over your check until every single item on that list is fixed to your inspector's satisfaction. The second you drive off that lot, your leverage vanishes.
Following these 6 steps completely flips the power dynamic. It turns you from a potential target into a prepared, protected consumer. So what happens if you're already in that bad spot? You bought the RV and it's a nightmare of unfixable problems. This is where the state lemon laws are supposed to be your safety net.
But, and this is a huge but, we learned that RVs are almost always treated differently than cars. To show you, we pulled the actual laws for 2 popular RV states, Minnesota and Florida.
In Minnesota, the lemon law has a massive loophole. It only covers the self-propelled motor vehicle chassis.
In plain English, that means it only covers the truck parts, the engine, the transmission, the brakes. It specifically excludes the entire living portion. Your slide outs, your plumbing, your leaky roof, your furnace, none of it is covered by the main lemon law. It's a joke.
So if your engine fails, you have a case. But if the entire side of your RV is delaminating, the Minnesota lemon law won't help you. It's a huge gap in protection that feels like you are betrayed.
Now, Florida, it is a huge RV state. Their law is a little better, but again, the devil is in the details. First, just like Minnesota's, Florida's law excludes the living facilities. Same problem.
Second, the burden is on you, the owner, is much higher. For a car to be a lemon, it generally has to be out of service for 30 days. For an RV, like in Florida, you have to wait 60 days.
You have to be without your brand new expensive motorhome for 2 full months before you can even begin the legal process.
The bottom line here is that the state lemon laws are a minefield. The protections are not what you think they are. You have to look up the law in your specific state.
And honestly, if you are in that deep, you need to stop calling the dealer and start calling a lawyer who specializes in this.
So, after all this, what's the verdict? Are the rumors true about Camping World? Based on the evidence that we laid out from a state government own investigations to investor lawsuits to the sheer volume of identical complaints, we have to conclude that the online outcry isn't just noise. It's a smoke from a real fire.
The problems are widespread and in some cases legally documented. The risk of having a terrible experience, especially if you are a first time buyer who does not know the playbook, is significant.
This investigation suggests that the patterns of aggressive pricing and systemic service failures is not an accident. It appears to be a direct result of corporate culture that, according to the evidence, has prioritized growth over the customer.
We're not telling anyone where they should or should not shop. That is your decision.
But our job here on Our New French Porch is to give you the unfiltered truth so you can protect your dream. A dream about freedom, adventure, and not fighting with a dealership for a year. We truly hope this information helps you do that. Now, we really want to hear from you. This is too important for a one-way conversation. Let's turn our comment section into a digital campfire, a real resource for this community.
So, our question for you is this: what is one piece of constructive advice you could give a first time RV buyer to help them navigate the process?
No rants, just wisdom. Let's fill the comment with powerful, helpful tips so we can all protect each other. Thank you for sticking with us through this. We know it was heavy, but we believe you deserve the facts.
If you found this investigation valuable and you want us to do more deep dives like this, please give this video a like. It's the best way to let us know. And of course, subscribe so you don't miss what comes next.
Adventure is calling.
And we must go.